Hi everyone. Today my friend and I went to Michael's and we decided to pretty much buy out the store, which is probably a very bad idea. But I got actually a lot of really great buys. One of the things I found was this cute little bird. It actually stands up and is really, really adorable. And I really like unfinished wood projects because you can do so many things with them. So I got this bird. It was, in case you're interested, there's all the information. I got it for, I think, $2.99. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stain it and decoupage it with some Cosmo Cricut paper. This is Ever After, something new. And it's a pretty orange color. I'm doing this because I want it to be kind of something that I can put out for the fall. I was originally thinking about doing a Halloween one, which I think this would still be fun, and I wish there was more than one because I absolutely would have bought it. But I have this also Cosmo Cricut paper, and this is so super fun. I think it would be really, really neat to do it and be kind of like a raven, and it would be really, really cool. But I figured I kind of wanted something to be out even longer, so I thought if I do the orange florals, then I can have it out for the entire fall season instead of just October. So, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take these stickers off the back. And what I'm going to do, there's some sticky residue left. I'm going to stain the back. And around the sides. And then I'm going to decoupage the front. Okay, so let's get started on the staining. I'm going to use Folk Art Stain and Walnut. I really, really love these water-based stains. They're so great. I use them on my boxes that I make. They just turn out really good. So I'm just going to start by just putting some right on my project. And I'm just going to use a cheap foam brush, and I'm just going to move it around. I'm just going to kind of smear all over and just get it on the sides. I try to use as much as I can, you know, get it as far as it'll go. Okay. Now I'm just going to wipe some of it off. Isn't that pretty? That's really pretty. Now I'm just going to add some more. I'm just really getting it into the little nooks and crannies on the side here. I probably could have sanded it a little bit. Never really pay too much attention to the edges that much. But you could sand it down to make it a little bit smoother and a little bit easier to stain. And you can paint these. You can do all kinds of stuff. I just really love to decoupage. I own lots of Mod Podge. And I just discovered today that there's an antiquing Mod Podge. I had no idea that they made anything like it. And I was already spending way too much at Michael's, so I did not purchase it. But you better believe later on down the road, I will have that. And I will be certain to post some projects that I do with it. So now I'm just going around those legs, the bottom. And this ink might not stay. It looks like there's some glue around those feet, so the ink's not going to adhere to that as well. That's okay. Just going to keep. All right, so that's the back, all stained up and around the sides. And it doesn't matter what you have on the front here, because we're going to cover it with paper anyway. So I'm thinking I can either glue it down first, or I'm almost thinking it might be easier to kind of trace it maybe. And then cut it out. Just because it's going to be difficult around those feet. So let's try it this way. And then you're going to kind of cut on the inside of it, or whatever lines you draw. Mostly because otherwise it's going to be too big. All right. So that's that. It's all drawn on there. Can you see that? And I just took a pen. It was just handy. So now I'm going to cut around. I'm just cutting just inside of that line. And it really doesn't matter to me how this is going to sit on it. I'm going to ink the edges too. So just cutting all over. Michael's had so many clearance stuff today. I bought so much I'm so excited about. But this bird by far was like my most amazing find. Like, me and my friend Angela were saying like it would be really cute to decorate it for in a baby's room. Whatever color you're doing in the nursery, that would be really cute. Like I said, you can paint it, decoupage it, stamp all over it. I mean, whatever you want it to do. All right, so now it's cut out, and now it's gonna go on there like that. See, still a little bit big. Trim this down a little bit. You could Mosh Podge it down first. Like Mosh Podge the wood, press the paper down, and let it seal that way. And then you could use like an X-Acto knife around it. This way works too. Now I'm just kind of perfecting my cuts a little bit. And now I'm just going to flip it over like this. Can you see it just a little bit? It's just sticking out there. And see, I can't get around these feet, so I'm actually just going to take it off and just cut that off a little bit. this is going to look something like that. Like I said, it does not matter how perfect this is because I'm just going to ink around the edges anyways. Give it that extra distressed look. Now I'm going to Mod Podge it. And I'm just using Mod Podge in matte. You can use glossy. I have glossy too. And again, I'm just using a cheap foam brush. I buy these up when Michaels or AC Moore has them on sale, and usually like 20 for $1 or something like that. I buy them up. I use them all the time, and they're great because then you can just toss them. They're so cheap. Use them and toss them. I'd like to say that I just toss them, but I often clean them out and use them again and again, to be honest. But sometimes I'm just lazy. No crime in that. So I'm just giving a good coat of Mod Podge on here. Can you see that? See all that? Real good coat. And now we're just gonna press this down. I really like Mod Podge because it dries so quickly. It dries quickly, but not too quickly. You know, you can put a project down, you can move it around to where you just like it. I love it. Love it. Alright, and I'm just going to make sure it's on there real good. Okay. Alright, next thing I'm going to do, get out my blending tool and some distressed ink, and I'm using walnut stain. And now I'm just going to go around all these edges. See that? And that's just going to help blend that where the paper ends and the stain on the side begins. It just helps blend all that in. Whoops. This is going to be a little bit tricky, but not too bad. Just these feet get in the way. And you can ink your edges before you even Mod Podge your stuff down. Before I knew about blending tools, I used to just take the ink pad edge and just go along like this, around the sides, like this. And then I realized there's a tool. And it works so much nicer. Now I love it. So there it is. All those edges inked. See that? All the way around. These pretty orange flowers. And this paper is pretty white. Around the edges of that paper were, you know, distressed a little darker, but eventually I will Mod Podge the front of this. You know, I like to give it time for the first coat that's underneath to dry, because if you don't give that time, it'll actually start to bubble up. But usually after it fully dries, it kind of goes flat again, but sometimes it does not, which can be a pain. But you can glimmer mist this before you would like like Mod Podge over it, which actually might be kind of neat. Maybe I'll do that. I have some sand. Glimmer mist. And I'm going to do this off camera, but I'm going to rip a piece off and I'm going to glimmer mist it just to see what it looks like before I do it to the whole bird. Because if I don't like it, I might get really sad. I'm just shaking my glimmer mist up real lot. I love glimmer mist. And just a note, take the cap off. Let it breathe a little bit before you start spraying it. Alright, so there it is sprayed. Alright. So that's what it looks like sprayed. Okay. Actually, it's drying pretty quick, but I'm just going to speed it along real quick with my heat tool. That didn't take long at all. I don't know if I really like that. That's why we do it on the side before we do it to our project. And I have some other inks, like I have antique linen. So I'm actually just going to switch out my pad there. I'm actually going to try this distressed ink on another one. And try it on another piece. I'm just going to move that out of the way while I'm kind of playing here. So I never begin a project to know exactly what I'm going to do. I'm sure others do too. And I often buy things and not know exactly what I'm going to do with it. That may be too dark. Boy, I can't find a happy medium here. What else? We have brush corduroy, maybe tattered rose, a little pink hue. Oh, I kind of like that. See that? I don't know if it'll let you see it that good. But here's the antique linen, and here is the tattered rose. Just a little soft. And it really doesn't look that pink, to be honest. Or I'll just leave it like this. This is pretty cute the way it is, though. This is just a little bit of the tattered roses on there. I'm just going to go real light over it just to... I don't want to go too crazy. Just want it to be real light. Just recently bought that tattered rose, and I've been looking for a project that I want to use it on, and I think this is a good one. And see, it's just giving it a little distress, just so it's not as bright. I don't know why I keep putting the lid back on that if I want to use it. All right. I'm just going over the whole thing. Make sure I don't miss any spots. it is. Just a little bit distressed. So, compared to the original paper, see the difference? Just a little pink hue. So pretty. Alright. And that's it. When it's all dry, and I'm sure that it's all dry, I'm going to Mod Podge over it. And that'll be it. And then I'll just be a cute little bird sitting on my shelf for the fall. Alright guys, thanks for stopping by.